someone to save. I wanna tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall. I drive away into the night, and I contemplate for a while. Don't you think you wanna be more the best? If I back myself, I leave sooner than this. Don't you think you wanna be more the best? If I back myself, I leave sooner than this. Don't you wish I would've been someone else? I wanna feel your death without making a mess at you. Won't you tell me something new? I wanna tell you something new. I wish you all the best I can, but I stop myself for a while. I'm staying fake, I don't believe the panic's rising up in you. Won't you tell me something new? Don't you think you wanna be more the best? If I back myself, I leave sooner than this. Don't you think you wanna be more the best? If I back myself, I leave sooner than this. Don't you wish I would've been someone else? I wanna feel your death without making a mess at you. Won't you tell me something new? I wanna tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall. I drive away into the night, and I contemplate for a while. Don't you think you wanna be more the best? If I back myself, I leave sooner than this. Don't you think you wanna be more the best? If I back myself, I leave sooner than this. Don't you wish I would've been someone else? I wanna feel your death without making a mess at you. Won't you tell me something new? Wish you all the best I can, then I stop myself for a while.
Testes, testes, 1, 2. Yep, they're right there. You said I didn't have any. There you go.
Diamonds on my feet, caught up in these talks, circling my head top. Should have been more cautious. Now I got what I wanted. Many I've been here before, made it out of 11 more. Like my phone CoinEx, so I can't stop. I want it all. Listen up, I'm calling you. I need you to tell the truth. Remember when you wanted to. Remember that I said was you. Got you at the perfect time. I was watching it down. You know what to do, but I can never be your friend. Got me being realized.
I think we had a glitch.
Turn around, eat your greens. When you fight, but you do be clean. Then you come to the bed and you love feel dirty. It's everybody sweater drops, you're real keen. Bring let me get your juiciest piece. Can't remember when I had to say please. The shops at the club never had no boundary. How's it gonna be? Wanna eat these centipedes? Where we gonna go? You're gonna need these calories. Giving me a treat to refill these calories. Then you only them on your knees. There's no better dream. Ooh, it's sneaking up on you. There's nothing you can do. There's things about the boo. Sneaking up on you, there's nothing you can do. There's things about the boom. I lose control when you do it like that. Ain't got you love when I go mad. Got you at the perfect time. I was watching it down. You know what you wanna do, but I can't.
You're watching Late Night with Road Dog Crypto, and I would be Road Dog. Welcome to the stream. Grateful to have you here. It is September 13th, Friday night. We're checking out. It's been in just a moment on Bitcoin. Covered this in earlier streams today. But the biggest thing that we talked about and talked about last night was, and a couple of nights ago, 60K or bust trade. And here we are at 60,000. Hanging out here at 60,422. This line right here, the yellow line, is a 618 Fibonacci area. Now, I actually was expecting us to possibly get rejected there. We could still end up being rejected here, so let's keep that in mind. If we stay above it, and looks like it wants to at least try, well, we got another area over at 62,275 that we could be going to. Now, this little guy was in a... If you look at the dotted lines, it was making a rising, what we call a rising wedge. It was squeezing and getting shorter and shorter. But a rising wedge is nothing but just a fraction or a part of a channel. So if you take this angle that we got down at the bottom and put it up to the top, you can see that we reveal the channel that we're actually in. And we're at the top of it, and so you can kind of predict areas that we would get some rejection, which nailed it. It did anyway. I mean, I just added this up there just recently, so it's not like we're just waiting. They're just all juicy for it to get there. We've been waiting all juicy for it just to hit this yellow line, which it was starting to look like it was getting like it just didn't want to do it early this morning. And a lot of people were trying to short this area over here. It's understandable to try to build a short. I'm sure a lot of people are still trying to build shorts here at the 618. That takes a lot of balls to do it up here, but that's technically how it is done. This is when people would start looking at trying to short this. Will it succeed is the question, and the only thing I can say, if you're trying to short this, you would definitely, you would already know, I'm sure, but stop loss above here and take her down to where she can go, and I would be looking down here at this area at the most. And that's a pretty good risk to reward ratio. It's about an 8-to-1 down to about 58.3. I don't know that we would go there, but that was our last little line of support. We'll probably have to retest it at some point, whether it be now or later. But if we do lose this 618 Fibonacci area, this 60,200 area, if we drop below it, what in essence we would be doing on these smaller time frames, like this 15-minute that I'm on, and it looks like it's trying to do it now. It broke back into the channel, right? That's not good. We break back into a pattern or a channel, break back into a trend line. Well, usually it slams us down, or we get a quicker move to the bottom of it. If you're lucky, you can bounce from there and go on your merry way and recover. But a lot of the times, once you break back in there, it's got a bigger move coming. And if it breaks this one, well, she'd be coming down. And so if I had to really try to nail a target that I've expected to hit, if we do come down, well, pull out my old trusty fibs like I do and learn how to fib in the Boy Scouts, and I would think I would agree about 58.7 would be an ideal target for a possible short for anyone brave enough to try to take one. I'm not current. Well, yes, I am. I think I still might have one that's open a little bit. She's probably still underwater. I'll just take a look over there and see if that's still open. I may have closed it because we got so bullish. Well, we got a 6-to-1 ratio. Putting your stop loss above the flag thing, because if she breaks that, she's definitely going somewhere else, and this is over. So that's a great place. Tight little stop loss. Or a nice little short-term play here. Should we play it? Should we play it? I don't think I've got any money left over on that little account to play that. One that I could pull up easily, that is. Where are you, darling? Oh, you are still open and you're way in the negative. So it's not like I can open a new trade, but I can add to this one. Stop loss is where? Where is this 60,660? Ooh, baby. Okay. We got that locked in. We'll see how that one goes. It's over on BitUnix. To an existing trade. Maybe that will help it. Where does that put my entry? 59. Yeah. Yeah, it needs to. So we'll see how that goes, but she does look like she's got a chance. We'll take a chance on it. Got my stop loss up there. We bounce up on that. That's a pretty good risk reward ratio, even from where I got in. It's not, it'll be alrighty. And here we go. Bitcoin. Now let's take a look at some altcoins. Give a shout out to everybody that's hanging out here today. So we got Sam Webb. How's it going, Sam? Angel's guest list. How's it going? Mr. Miles Caspa's over 17 cents again. Woo! We'll have to take a look at Caspa again. I look at charts, but then when I get off those charts, I just forget what I saw. The Scouts taught you fibbing? The Boy Scouts taught me about fibbing that fibbing was wrong. A Scout is meant to be honest and trustworthy, says Mr. Miles. Stricker said, "Not said, screw that block party." You must have one of those scout leaders that got put on that special list, says Mr. Miles. Well, play with those fibs in public and in the tents and everywhere. All right, guys, let's take a look at some altcoins. We'll start out with Caspa, since that was mentioned. Take a quick look and see how she. Oh, look at. We're looking at her on the 15-minute. You up there? Come on, baby. I got a 618 waiting for you at 7.5 cents. I think you can do it. She's yeah. Is this her? This is, yeah. She got a new high here. Now, just to let you know, what comes after a higher high would usually be a higher low. Just so you know that there's a higher low coming. There's a one coming. And if you had to guess where it might be, it would probably be along this angle, this trend here somewhere. If you just had the eyeball it. That looks good. That looks really good. We connect all this stuff. It looks good. Looks like she's got a pretty clear shot to try to get up there. Says the man on the 15-minute time frame. The angle we left, or we lost, and now that will be resistance. And she says, "Screw it, you're out of my pathway anyway. You no longer matter to me." So we got this one, which has been resistance, and pretty soon, I don't know, she'll probably finagle her way out of that one too, because we got this kind of deal going on now. We'll just take it from the bottom and add it there. And let that be our line in the sand. And if she breaks that, you need to think about getting paid if you're in on a trade, or if you're not in on a trade. Well, this is the 15 minutes time frame, so never mind. Screw that idea. It would just be a place where you break structure and probably start working on this higher low. It's always best to zoom out, I think, not get stuck on even the 15-minute. Because once she gets past this area at 6.5, now this time she may not get rejected this time. She may have enough get up and go to actually break through. And if she can, well, we got about almost 19 cents would be our next target on line there. I like that idea. But the point of her, and she really does need to come up here. She's got to come up here and retest it. It's her time. This is her time to come up and retest it. Now, hopefully she'll get above it and flag out. At that point, we will have a double bottom scenario in, or those don't look like bottoms, but anyway, got distracted. If you take a measure move from well, I believe I went with the right boob from the cleavage area down to the pointy part, and just put it right back up here, and I actually put it on top of the very top there. And we got this measure move coming in right at 21.5 cents, that area. So just for the double booby, double bottom pattern right here. You need a mnemonic device to help you remember these patterns, and I have a sly little way of putting one in your head, so forgive me. There is some slight innuendo at times, but I'm sinking it in there. You watch my channel, you'll pick this stuff up. Swing high to swing low, tell me where price is going to go. There's another one right there, and that's we're looking at that 618. Casper, doing good, doing damage. Make a number go up. Come on, Casper, I need you to go. Go on, fly like a birdie. Go to that 21-cent target. We've actually got some higher targets, which are not marked on here. What's up with that, man? Dude, I thought you were a professional. We're also looking at 21.8 and 23 cents, and I've been looking for those for, I don't know, all year, pretty much. Feels like all year, just waiting. So yeah, they're on the table, but man, this is a long table. Sure is hard to get to. This is one of them rich man tables. Somebody sits on the far other side. Wow, man, the big banquet table. Ooh, I need a scooter to drive me down to the other side. I have a conversation. Oh, we just text anymore. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah, we text. We text these days. Casper looking good, bros. Casper looking good. So I found something, and I didn't know they were doing this on YouTube, but I just saw this in the chat area. They've also got question answer. It says answer live questions. And so I put, which 3 coins are in your 3 biggest bags? What are your 3 biggest coin holdings? Not how much, but what coins are you guys looking at? But I think this is designed so that if there are like some questions for you guys have for me, that you can put them there, and then I would be more likely to get them and actually take an answer. So if you guys got any kind of technical analysis questions, I would welcome them there. I would definitely see them, and then I welcome all those questions about any techniques that I do. Something what the hell is it that he's doing there? I don't get it. Yeah, I'm happy to answer questions like that. You don't have to pay me $99 a month, but you can. But you don't have to. You can join my $5,000 a month OnlyFans chart room, and I will strip the socks off these little babies and let you see what they look like over there. Yes, just $5 a month, 5 G's a month. And I mean, if you have to ask, you can't afford it, darling, but got to throw a little something out there, and support your dog. That's where the real alpha comes in. Same chart you get in the free group, but you don't get my feet pictures without that. You know what I'm saying? You dig me? You feel me? We connected? You see me? Yeah, look here. Look, my eyes are here. I know. It's okay. It's okay. I didn't mean to take this to such a scandalous place to be so risque. We were just let me get back over to the live chat here. My bad. Anyway, I don't know if that shows. I hit it and nothing happens when I do that on my clear it. So I wouldn't be able to pop them up very good, would I? Okay. Hey, my guy Derek Adams. How's it going, Derek? Derek's got the little alien. He's a member. So I'm going to be doing I'm planning on doing a membership Fibonacci thing for the YouTube membership. That's that what's it, $3? Because that helps. And that's really the only thing level. So I'll be doing that over there, and it may be part of a class or a course. I may put together a little course over there, and it'll be accessible to anybody over there. But then after I get it and maybe edit it or something like that, I'll put it into a higher tier, maybe something like that. I was thinking about those ideas. Trying to find a direction for this channel. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I'm ever going to get any channel growth streaming this late at night. And I'm thinking, well, it's only this late here in America. There's a whole other world out there that I know everybody doesn't speak English or can understand my English, but at least there's got to be some. I don't know. It's a comfortable time late at night. Maybe it's too late. It's 10:30 where I'm at, which I would think, a few states over is 9:30, and then all the way on the West Coast where Mr. Miles is. What time is it there, Mr. Miles? What, 7:30? It's pretty early. Look at that beautiful trend being broken out right there. The measure move. to the upside. You'd have to take into account this whole thing, though, if you did that. You'd have to. You got to. Oh, God, you're going to be like that dude on TV. To the upside. We've already got a target up there for Caspi. See, now when I take a measure move, the whole principle of a measure move is that you're measuring. You're getting part of this ratio or this length. And there is a ratio thing if you can do it right and do it from the right places. I'm going to go down here. For the fib thing. But putting it at the breakout. And then, you know, we got it measured once, measured twice, cut once. Isn't that the thing? And so I like to go ahead and just put my, you know, maybe I'm just too picky with them, but then a lot of times the price, you can see it wouldn't nail those measure moves. Sometimes it just stops right on them. A lot of times, right there, it's so good. That was an O measurement. Oh, this is not. This come from. Oh yeah. That was a different idea. That's freaked me out. I forgot what that was for a minute. But anyway, I see so many people do them, and then they're just putting them wherever they want, basically. And I'm like, well, you just skewed your measure move, or whatever. And then I see some crazy stuff out there. But 23, it's got 1 to 23.9 if you want to go by that. I'd be happy just to see us get back to 20 and hang out there for a little while instead of hanging out at 15 or 16. I'd like to do this kind of stuff up here like 21, 22. Let's range up here on top of this trend line for a little bit. Let's do some, change it up a little bit, Cass, but do something a little bit different. I'm just saying. Ryden said, so would appreciate your perspective on Market Cipher. I can do that. I mean, briefly. You have to be a little bit more specific on which perspective. Now, I haven't used the actual Market Cipher because, well, when I first heard about it, I didn't have all that much money. I couldn't afford that. It was $500 to $1,500. I can't remember what it was. And I think it's still kind of expensive for this. It's a subscription for a little bit of code that works on TradingView, and most of them are free, but there are paid ones out there. And gosh darn it, I don't know. I was tickled to death to find out that there's one called BMC that is free, and I've been using it for years now, and it does wonderful. Nazarite says, and I'll get back to it in a second. I just want to answer this question. Nazarite says, how are you playing the Pumps Road Dog? Is it over till Monday? I don't know. It's being really bullish, and that's weird for the weekends. It's just weird. I'm trying to see how it's going to sustain it, because everything, Bitcoin, Caspa, all this, we're at these 618 areas. Sometimes we're above it, sometimes we're below it, but we could lose it over the weekend or just go stable and wait to see what they do next week. It's really weird. But in the bigger picture of things with Bitcoin, I mean, we put in our higher low, and now it's time to go shoot for a higher high, and we should start floating toward 66,000 though for Bitcoin, and everything else should go up too. So Caspa to 19, in other words. So let's talk a little bit about, we'll do a quickie here, Market Cipher. So I'm assuming you know what all the parts are, and it looks like an astropop that was just melting on the asphalt. Let's drop my astropop, mommy, and melting on the hot pavement. And what you got this cool little bar down here. It's got money flow on it, and when it goes green, good things happen in the market, especially on bigger time frames. And that same money flow is over here in the red. And you like it when it starts curving down, and right when it starts getting at a low, and you have to guesstimate, but you're looking for some other signs there. When she starts starting to point back to the upside, that's when it's usually good you usually have a good move coming. And you want to see it curving back up, but when it flips above zero and then flips green, and you can see it down here, those are good signs. All these little dots represent divergence happening, and that these are possible bottom areas to pay attention to. These green dots, like this big ass green dot down here, that's supposed to be one of the big ones to look for. It looks like that would have been pretty good. Look, the momentum waves are at the bottom, and even printed a dot there. This is the RSI. I have it over. I mean the stochastics RSI. That's what this is. It normally has the regular RSI on there too, but that was just too much. I had to take it off, and I do things with that, so I have that separately that I use. I just took it off of here. These are the momentum waves here, and this price goes down, this goes down deep, and it just kind of helps you track the momentum. And when it's on this side, we're in the negative, and when it's on the positive side, where things are going good. Let's take a look at, it was this one, this green dot right here, that big old ass green dot here in the 4 hour. Should be something good. All right, what? You suck, road dog. This indicator sucks. That would piss me off if I took that and said, let's go all in. Now, it gave another one, and this is the yellow dot, and it's similar. I think it's to a little bit of a stronger degree there. You have to. I don't use these, so it's not surprising. But I did like it just by looking at the indicator because everything was down. The stochastics was down, but also the money flow just now started coming down. I would say that money flow, in my personal opinion, on this whole thing is the most powerful part of this indicator. And you can see the effects. Everything here would point that should have been a good move, except the only thing that's not is that money flow, and you see it going to the red. So to me, that's a sign of just how strong this part of the indicator is. So when money flow flips red, man, if you got some bullish plays, they're not going to work out that good for you. You got some shorts and everything, that's probably going to play out better for you. And that's why it's such a big deal. That's one of the biggest things I look for is the money flow. And so otherwise, I mean, I would say that is why, or that's when there just was no money coming in the market there to sustain any kind of thing going up. Now over here, it gave another dot, and it took it a while, but then we started coming out. So I don't pay attention to these, but these are the BitBoy green dots right down here, right beside it. And what they really mean is divergence down here. Now these dots on the wavetable, those are good. That's usually it's a buy signal, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily need to jump on it. On any indicator, it gives you a buy signal. I mean, you just take its consultation and say, well, thank you for your information. I really appreciate you for speaking with me about this important matter. But you got to look at everything else that's on the chart too. And if you're in a setup and you're at a price breakout and then you get a buy signal, other things are adding up. Yeah. But I guess some people blindly trade with indicators when they give, a buy signal, and no, you don't do that. That's the bad thing. That's what bots will do. And that's the bad thing about having bots, like the ones that you can program and things like that. You tell them to do it. They're going to do it every freaking time. Now, with AI, things may have changed. I haven't messed with them since all that stuff come out. But, if I had one to like the MACD cross or the moving average cross, that's the 200, crossing the 200 moving average. Very popular with the 1 minute on it works on any time frame, but the bigger time frames, you got more space between your crosses, and the shorter time frames, you bump around there lots and lots. And that bot will buy and sell for every time it crosses. And that wasn't a very profitable strategy. If you did, you're scalping little bitty bits in between there. It wasn't very profitable. So you can't, and so that's just using one thing as a buy and sell indicator or something. And bots will do that. You can't do that. You got to mix things together. You got to come up with your own little buffet plate of all the little things that you like. Your own little toolbox of all the little tools that you're good at using, and that helps things. So Market Cipher, yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And right now, what I like about it that we see, the money flow is in the green. And let's go to the bigger time frame, like the daily, because this is where it really matters. You got stochastics, where they're pinned up to the top, and they can stay there while price just keeps pounding away, okay? It's only when they start flipping over that we got to be concerned about stochastics. So you hear some people that say, oh, the stochastics are too high, I'm not going to buy them, they're at 100. It doesn't matter. That's the bad thing about stochastics. They're only good for when they start taking off, in my personal opinion. They're like stepping the foot on the gas or something. They're like the RPM meter just buries up at the top or something. That's what it reminds me of. It gives you that, it tells you when the fast little punch is coming. But the RSI is the one that, you know, that one helps you figure out the momentum a little bit better. And then we got the momentum wave, which is great, and we're crossing the zero. We're good. This is the VWAP, volume weighted average price, is what it stands for. That yellow stuff. She's above the zero line, which is just right here. If I were to draw a horizontal line there, that would be the zero line, or as close as I could get to it. Everything above it's bullish, everything below it's bearish, is basically how we interpret it. Now, this is anything that can cross it. There are a few, like the RSI does not cross it, or the stochastics does not cross it. And in that case, this would be the 0, and then this should be your 100 up here at the very top. So you gotta pretend that you got, like, you know, these little imaginary lines down here at 100, which is all the way down at this green line for our case. And you can kind of measure how far that the wave things come up and how high they go, and do all kinds of things over here. But at a glance, you can get to where you can just glance at it and you got, oh yeah, it's pretty good today, or no, it kind of sucks right now. It becomes very intuitive just to kind of, I don't know, like, you get used to it. It actually really is a really good indicator. Just a bunch of them smushed together. That's really all it is. 5 indicators just smushed all together. Hope that was insightful, unless you had a specific question about it. Derek Adams says, love the late night stream. Hope it takes off. I've been hoping that for, well, the streams I've been doing about a year. I've only been doing the stream things about a year, I think. If I'm remembering correctly. Measure twice, cut once. That's exactly what my circumcision doctor used to say. Mr. Miles, you're funny. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, says Sam. Amen. Rising Sun says, I guess I like a tutorial idea for educations. Okay, I'm taking notes. Nervous Network jumped way up. I saw that. Hoping it'll go up a little higher, says Derek Adams. I thought VWAP was a new Cardi B song, says Mr. Miles. Let's take a look at CKB, right? Nervous Network. I'm not in this one anymore at the moment. Oh, wow, look at that. That was nice. Look at the double bottoms. So here we are on the daily with this, man. So, give me just a second. Wet my whistle. I need more wet for my whistle. So let's see, the indicators I use, I got the MACD. I got that because it's tried and true, and on the bigger time frames, the weekly and all that, must. And I made a promise to myself, and I've been sucking on keeping about cutting things off when the weekly MACD, especially when it actually crosses over, slipped right by me, man. And it, I'm pissed about that. I could have saved myself all this headache I went through, and you guys too, if I'd have been more privy to that and could have foreseen that. It's just a little ignored it. I think I even missed the 2 weeks. I don't know. You can get carried away with this and forget about those bigger time frames because you get caught up on the smaller ones. That's the bad thing. So anyway, I have MACD. I got regular RSI down here. And then, of course, I have Market Cipher, which we had before. Ooh, look at that RSI, man. You getting up there. You can only go up to 100, which is like right up here. She's heated, and she's above 70. And the thing about RSI is, you know, they can get pinned up here too in these high things. Is when they cross over the 70 negatively, that's supposed to be your official sell signals when it crosses over there. You can actually chart all this stuff too and graph all this for breakouts. And buddy. We got a breakout here on the RSI, so this is a freaking awesome move that we've got going on with this is CKB that we're on right now. And then of course I got Market Cipher. I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Well, hurry it up! I'm waiting for my price. Okay, so and then we on here I've got the 5. This was started out as 5 moving averages, but I've got particular ones that I use. I use the 9 and the 21. 21 is great, and some other people use it. Some morning people use that one. But they miss a lot of things by not understanding how the 9 interacts with it. I think is phenomenal. It gives you an edge on the market clearly above other traders when you can see things that they can't see and that they don't catch. It takes them a little bit, and sometimes they miss things entirely. I don't know, but some of these things, I don't know. They could have. I think people are going to have an aha moment with some of these strategies. But I got the 9, the 21, the 50, the 100, and then the 200. 200 is yellow because it's like the golden thing. You have a golden cross, and so this is my gold. Well, it gets crossed. But prices, you know, it is true. If you're below the 200, you're bearish. If you're above it, you're bullish. It's that simple. You need to have some kind of rules to go by, right? And right here, price is trying to get above it, but it's getting rejected, and that commonly happens. It doesn't always get it on its first try, although sometimes you'd be amazed at what it can do. Now, it's likely that it will not get it, and I say that because all these other moving averages are below it. They flip negative. But once they all flip negative, they try to start turning things around. Now, personally, I've got to wonder, since they all just now recently flipped negative on this bigger time frame, how long it's going to take them to do that. Kind of makes me think there's going to be a lot of chop out of this, and we'll probably go into a deeper accumulation. There's a little bit of a roundiness going on, so I would be taking profits if you are in CKB, because she liked to do this kind of thing and drag things out for a while. I would not expect her just to go up here to 22 or 3 cents right now. I would expect her to fall back to these areas about 9 or 0.009 and 1 cent, to be honest with you. So buying in is definitely should not be on the radar right now. Now I could be wrong. Maybe it is time for that big ass breakout. Well, let's see what we got here. Trend lines is best that we can do, because sometimes they don't always fit. Sometimes you can kind of cut through them and get an idea what might be going on. Maybe. But you can always go with the last one you got and then come down, and that's the best that I can get right here. That looks like that's respected. And then a retest of that. But eventually you just add in what information that you got, so even this is valid. You still got to break out from that area. Easiest thing I would do is look at this as being a channel, because that's what this was. To have found its partial decline right here where they level out and then break out. That's what you got to look at when you're looking for channels. You want to see them go, and then you want to see them level out. And when they level out, they're getting ready to break out. So take a measure move from this, just the channel idea, and that's pretty accurate. I suggest maybe we'll get up a little bit higher here, and we could, and that corresponds. Look to the left when you get these measure moves or Fibonacci areas, and look to the left and see if there's any congestion over here, and if there is, well, you just found yourself a target that is likely to get nailed. And if it's a measure move, it's worth putting it exactly where the measure move comes to. It's worth doing that. It's not worth taking it and trying to finagle it and just take it up to your next line of support just because you happen to have one and just like, well, measure move does this right up here. No, that's not what the measure move does. It's a measure. Give it a chance and it will impress you. I promise, I think. It did me anyway. And then we got our trusty fibs, and what are they telling us? They're telling us that we need to keep this area. If we don't, we come back and play down here again in range, and that's probably what can happen. I'm just throwing it because all these other moving averages are down there. It's going to take it a while to bring them back up. So they're kind of like a sandbag that will kind of make price kind of roll over here, in my opinion. Hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe we'll just smack right up to the 618, which is where we eventually want to get to, and that's at 0.025. So it's a target. It's on the radar. I just don't know that it's now. And so when we're looking at the altcoins right now, trying to figure out if we're going to get in them or not, we got to consider these ideas, and some of them will break out and get to higher things. Some of them are still going to accumulate for a little bit. CKB, in my personal opinion, is probably one that might do that. And one thing that I'm looking at is this rounding here, and that usually continues until, you know, probably about right over here in November-ish, when it starts rounding up this way. Then we usually get you kind of the rounding bottoms. The ideas that I've seen on this is that you kind of get your little wedge shape going on. It kind of makes a wedge. It plays around through here, usually makes a butt crack. Look, it's Bart Simpson's butt crack, and it comes down and then does this stuff again. And then it makes a megaphone pattern, which breaks to the upside, and it's not supposed to. They're supposed to break to the downside, but they break to the upside and they go parabolic. That is usually how the rounded bottoms play out. It forms kind of a weird looking, sometimes weird looking, as a channel or wedge, which finally gets a breakout. And then most of the time it's a butt crack. It's one of them Gartley's or something bearish patterns that tells us you're coming back for a type 2 return, if you listen to some people, and I think it's fascinating, but it's not my forte. So you do the butt crack move, which could be cool. You'll come down and you have a couple of moves. That's why you need to take profit, in my personal opinion. Or you can chance it and say, oh no, we're gonna break out, we're going to the moon, which rarely happens, especially with this is going on, in my personal opinion. That's just what I see. That's my first thought and my thought process on this little guy. Do you still have people here, or did I bore people to death with this stuff? I need to know this. I need some feedback. Is this kind of make your eyes cross? You're like, oh, can we just go to the next coin? I need to know this, because my channel ain't growing for some reason. It's because I talk too much about this stuff. But I started out as a teaching channel, and it just kind of comes out. I just kind of like to do it. I just like to go over what I think about it anyway. Hopefully, if they can open that somebody out here that's got a little newer, or, you know, just at that point where they just hadn't quite got it, or still trying to figure things out, can find something of value and say, oh man, because these are things that changed my life. That maybe these are the things I'm using, or the things the best things that I found, and the fibs and these 5 moving averages and the little extra one. We didn't got to the extra ones, did we? The extra ones, the extra moving averages. It works on any. This works on any chart. Just because we're talking about CKB and it's not the favorite coin, doesn't mean that there's not something educational here. I've added the 800 moving average, which is this orange one. I've added the 666 moving average, the sign of the devil, because I was just a kid joking around. I saw some kind of Reddit thing about, oh, 666 moving average. I was like, ha 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 ha. And I tried it and I looked at it. I'm like, dang. Price respects the hell out of that thing. I mean, you can see relevance with it and things. But the biggest thing that I've been getting from it, other than how price just kind of, you know, comes down and seeks it and bounces off of it a lot, or has problems getting above it, even though it got above the 800, the 600 nailed, you know, started giving it some trouble. Just some things like that. And sometimes it does it perfectly, a lot of times more than not. But one of the biggest things is just seeing how it interacts with the 800, and when it crosses bullishly over it, it's just, usually good things come from it. Doesn't mean immediately. In fact, I would say it's kind of like the 100 and the 200 moving average cross. Sometimes when they cross, you get the opposite of what you expect. And, you know, price, it crossed, so price had to come down and touch it. You see that happen with this strategy a lot, especially like the 100 and the 200. Sometimes you'll see those cross, and price will have to come down and touch that one, that whatever moving average crossed over. It's weird, but just some observations there. Should have time to have feedback on what I was asking now. Derek Adams says, okay, going to take profits now. Thank you. Agreed. Greed always costs me in the let's take a look on the smaller. Now that's what the daily's got. The daily is the general. She's going to call the shots, and she's saying 200 moving averages there, yeah, and all the rest of, look, your 9 moving averages down here, way too far. So, you know, either that's got to jump up there, the price probably not going to happen. It will, but not yet. Or they'll probably come down halfway and retest this little area here about 11.011. Looking on it, like on the 4 hour thing, she's trying. She is trying. So in a situation like that, Derek, what? This is not financial advice, but this is just crypto opinion and just experience from what I've done. When I'm in a situation like that, if I'm in trade, I assume that you're in a trade. Because there's still a target up here at 0.016. It may get hit. You can pay yourself some. So maybe take 25%, 50%. It's just seeing what you got on the daily. You want to make sure that you pay yourself something up through here at this area, 0.014, even where we're at now, somewhere through there. But there is that chance. She did break through this area, so there's a chance on the smaller time frames that we can start flagging out here. So I give her a chance. Now I'm calling for the butt crack and more accumulation. I said that, but don't let that. Don't let that. Oh wow! I guess better sell it all or anything like that. That can happen, but listen, it's not confirmed yet. For it to see the butt crack scenario happen, we got to lose this area here at 0.0135. So that might be a good place to put a stop loss underneath that, something like that. But there is this little sliver, Ichimoku Cloud, and a few other ideas. Maybe she will come up to this butt crack may just be getting started. In other words, that butt crack may come. Keep doing it. That butt crack may come up, and they look like this. So she can, just because the 200 moving average is there, doesn't mean she can't wick above it to some higher prices. Is what I'm trying to say. And it looks like the 4 hours saying, "Baby, I'm ready to do it right now. I can taste it. I can taste it. I just got you got the golden cross here in the 4 hour. That's the buy signal right here. So yeah, pay yourself a little bit, but she might still have some more gas in the tank. For real. All about that level right there. Losing this little zone here. And what do you say? That looks weird as F right here. So far, it does not look promising, but still. Here on the 1 hour. Bounce, bounce, bounce. You need to bounce. He does like to play with the rounded bottoms. There is a thing about them rounded bottoms. Mr. Miles says, Caspin Bitcoin. Okay, we can do that. Cryptophasia says, thank you for the how value content. Thank you for the compliment. Let's take a look at Caspin Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and go through some of these, so I won't be too behind on the chat. Sam Webb says, I like the fast coin TA late night. Cool. Okay, well, it's convenient for me. I've tried to do this during the day, because that morning time slot is because that is when short squeezes happen. When the New York Open happens, open at 9:30. So from 9:30 to about noon that's when all the day traders are just in full force on the regular market anyway, and in crypto. It mirrors in crypto, so that's the best time to get your pumps and everything. But every time I try to do, I can't be consistent because there's always something. There's appointments. There's some surprise. I got to do this. I got to be here. Got to be there. Something in the mornings. And I'm not a morning person anyway. I'm a night owl. Have you ever checked out the trending section on Morales Money website? It's pretty good. No, but I know that term, Morales Money. I think I've seen it. I mean, I can't recall anything, but I want to check it out, though. I will check it out. Thinking about coating yourself in nacho sauce? Strega says, let's go Nero. Oh no, are you the Nero? That's the meme coin, right? I just think there's going to be so many rugs going on. And there have been so many rugs in all these meme coins, right? Adam Oliver says, still live. Wow. Well, a different stream, but yeah. Trying to stay true to my time spot here. All right, let's check out Caspin against Bitcoin. How's you doing? We got to zoom out to appreciate this one. So went to the weekly chart on this one, and she's still respecting that trend line right there. And I would say after this movement today, she's probably got a chance to bounce off of all this. On this other time frame, what we had touched candle bodies or whatever. And that's the thing with time frames. You can get a little bit of different results, and of course, whatever you get on the bigger time frames are always the most important. And now if I go by the weekly, I get a slightly different little angle here for this trend line, but we're still at a breakout. So all the other ones were faking out. And this one's still good too, but we got a little bit, but it's got to confirm a candle above this line to be official. And hopefully we'll get that. Looky here, this is cool. This is VMC or market cipher. See how this stochastics RSI have flipped and they're starting to turn up there. And well, shucks, you can even draw a trend line there and start tracking those guys. But you got the green dot here, and on the bigger time frames like the weekly and the daily, you get better results out of these guys. Now, like on the smaller time frames, the 6 minute, 5, all that one, you know, the smaller the time frame, the less accurate these portions, these little signals are. And I think that holds true on most indicators. And they're just more accurate on the bigger time frame. You need to pay more attention to them on the bigger time frame. You can get used to kind of ignoring them on the smaller time frames. Yeah, that probably. But on the bigger ones, you gotta say, that's worth looking at. And we got the green line here. We got all the green lights going here, except money flow, which I don't even see yet. I guess there's not enough information on it on the weekly. Everything looks good for Caspa on the weekly to go up. You also got some bullish cross here of the 21 crossing over the newly formed 50 moving average on the weekly. So Caspa's getting ready to rock, y'all. If y'all can get your bags in on Caspa, man. Now this is rocking against Bitcoin. This is meaning that now Bitcoin is getting ready to go up. Dang. What's Caspa going to do to stay up with Bitcoin? Probably the 20 cent area. I'm guessing where we were over here to kind of, since this is Bitcoin's price rangey. Bitcoin was cheaper back here, I'm sure. So cool. Well, there's a suggestion, whichever way that you want to do this, but just taking a rough measure move here alone. Technically put out the breakout. We did that, and we got that little dotted line. What is this in Satoshis? There's 4, and there's a 420. Haha, 420 Satoshis. Smoke them if you got them, folks. We're going to 420 Bitcoin, 420 Satoshis. That's pretty good. We're at 285 right now, 285 Satoshis. And you make 50% gains on your Bitcoin. Put 1 Bitcoin in and take 1.5 out. Put 0.01 in, take 0.015 out. After you have to sell your Caspa for Bitcoin, which Mr. Miles, you're probably gasped at that one. I think Mr. Miles has a hard time judging between Caspa and Bitcoin. It's a good project. Look at the little, that's the flattened testicle here. What happened? If you're suffering erectile dysfunction, candle malfunction, what do you look like, Mr. MacD? I kind of have to pay attention. Oh, again, the duck lips. Look at there. Hello, duck lips. Duck lips. That's good, because that's what I want to see the monthly do on Bitcoin. If we get enough action going on here with this move, we can make that monthly start looking a little bit more like this on Bitcoin, and that would be great. So that's what we're hoping for. And this is how the MACD can fake you out on the bigger time frames. Yeah, because it looks like she's getting ready to cross. She was getting ready to cross. It looked bad. And then she duck lipped. So that's why the confirmation is so key. Now you can start front running, but just know that you may have to double back in case it doesn't go to hell in the handbasket like it looked like it's going to, right? So we got duck lips, and duck lips are, that's not an official term. That's just a road dog term. But things are starting to look like they're starting to turn around for Caspa. Man, hopefully Bitcoin will do the same thing. It's the time of the year, time of the cycle where it should, just to be logically speaking, to throw that out there. Bitcoin, it coming to its time where she's going to shoot up big. We have to finally get that big move we've been waiting for. And we've been waiting, years now. Oh my God, it's been so long just waiting for this big move to come. And we're getting closer and closer, not just on Bitcoin, but altcoins too. But just know Bitcoin will probably outperform the majority of your altcoins. I'm just saying, I think this is going to be Bitcoin's cycle. Altcoins may get the tail ends of it. It usually does. Adam says, I'm up big today on track. AI utility coin, my biggest bag. I've heard of that. Oh, Origin Trail. Yeah, how's that doing? I'm on the weekly here. Oh, if you up big on the now and we're just doing this on the weekly, oh man, you might have some. Well, let's see. There could be some bigger gains coming. So here's track. You must have some leverage behind that one. Because she's up about 10-12% there. So they got a lot more gains to be made up here. So here we are on the Daily Man, bouncing off the Lucy line, as I call it, so I don't have to keep saying 666 all the time. There's the little devil girl, and we were bouncing off of her, so we got her blessing to go forward. She's above the 800, so if she's above the 800, she's usually in a happier mood, right? So 800, 600, 360, 200, which is, you know, she's feeling all this mess down here coming down. But the big momentum, the bigger ones, they're pushing us up. So we got a nice little range. We'll probably come up about 6.4. Play with that range. We can pivot out and get the details here. But just by eyeballing it, that would be the range that we need to go to. About 60, 62, 65 cents right there in that area. And we're at 55. So if you're up now, it's going to get better. Bibs are saying 69 cents is the area to go for, right where we wicked up here before. I don't argue with the bibs, and it needs to if you're just looking at the price structure itself. To complete this, it's just a possible double bottom at the moment. It is not complete until we actually come up here and meet this top area. Now, some people consider that where the candle bodies are to be good enough, but you got a wick right up here at our fib level, so that's the one I'm rolling with. And that would complete the move. Now once it does that, she could play around before she ever gets back up here, but it's complete once she gets up here, and then you got to measure move from that, which is the channel. Basically takes us up to about the next fib level. If we take that little measure move, and or maybe just a little bit higher, maybe she'll have a little bit better run through that one. There's not much here until we get over here anyway, so it makes kind of sense. That little measure move kind of corresponds with the top of these candles. So she's doing some good things, and it's a good time. And this is, you're in. If you're in now, you're in at the point when I like to get in. Because getting those bombs really pay. Because seriously, $1.12, it seems like, may seem out of the picture right now. Hasn't been there since in spring, but she got hyped up, right? She went all the way up to what, $1.53. But that's the most reasonable target right there for anyone looking for a longer term play on this. That's pretty cool. What would that be target wise? That's a moon bag, 100%. That means you pull your collateral out and just roll it into something else. Take your money out. You put $500 in now, and that's from where we are now, not including whatever price that you might have gotten in earlier. So jumping in now, which looking on the daily, just eyeballing it, that's a pretty good level we're at now, crossing that 50 moving average, if it does. She may fall back, and she's got a little wiggle room here. But yeah, put like $500 in now, and then you take your $500 out when it gets up here to 111, and you still got $500 in the game. free and clear, no risk attached to it. Take that $500, put it in another project or in some other coin, or maybe this one when she reaches another big low again or a big pullback, and moonbag another moonbag. You can start collecting moonbags and you just keep pulling your collateral out, and you got free crypto that keeps growing up in value during the bull market. It's a freaking awesome thing. But if you ever get the ideas to take those moonbags and put them on some kind of leverage, well, second guess that. I'm just saying, you put it at risk of losing. I lost a couple moonbags that way. I worked hard for them moonbags, and then I thought, oh, put it on leverage, and I bought moonbags. Also, getting ready to break out, possibly break out, or at least spike out. She's done it a few times and faked out, so she likes to fake things out a little bit. It's important for her to get above this 70-cent area. That's the next main target right there. 6 to 9 cents, and from where we are now, and if she's supposed to break out, that would be a 25% gain for anybody. A lot of people like this coin. That's nice. What she look like? I don't need to take a look on the smaller time frame. Smaller time frame, we got the 800 moving average also up at that area, and then we got Lucy here, which coming in at 66 cents. Technically, I think it's, what is it? She's at 664. Oh, if we just talked about her just a couple of hours earlier, she would have been at that crazy area. Money flow also getting ready to flip green, and that's the big thing. So it looks like she may be getting ready to make a bigger move here. A lot of the altcoins are looking really good this weekend, and it's kind of weird. Don't expect this. This is more of the action you expect in like a Tuesday or Wednesday. Holding 125,000 of them? Cool. No leverage? Yeah. You don't need you don't need leverage, especially with things like this. You don't need leverage in spot, period. You really don't. And that leverage game, man, it's very enticing, but it is rigged against you, just like the casinos are. You have to keep that in mind. There's a lot of hidden costs in there, or things that you don't see because the number goes up, and but there's some things that can whittle away at your position without you knowing about it, especially if you're in a downturn. So there's some things to be cautious about. But when you're on an uptrend and you're on the right side of it, or whatever trend you're on the right side of it, I mean, this guy has benefits. It's pros and cons. I can't wait to actually get out a lot of my spot margin positions after we get, after we get out of all this mess and we start getting back to respectable levels and stuff, then start pulling my stuff and putting it back into my wallets. I don't plan on keeping everything on spot margin. It's a useful tool, but I don't recommend trading everything on their spot. There's a whole lot to be said about spot. Your majority of your holdings should be in spot. Take a look at this. Is one of my plays. This is Arkham Intelligence. They're the ones that snoop on everybody and trace everybody's wallets and all that stuff, expose all that stuff and everything. They're going to be using this coin as to pay for their service too. That'll have a use case. I don't know why the price dropped after they announced that, but often does. Might be worthwhile to pay attention to the top of this wick there. Put it down here and see what we got. We're not near a breakout on that one, but I think that would probably qualify as a partial decline there. Let's see if this angle is respected here. Wow, wouldn't you know it? Look at that. It's crazy how these angles work, and then how price travels in a channel and respects these angles, these same angles that are spelled out earlier. I mean, you'd have to get a point though. You wouldn't be able to guess that until it bounced here. But after it bounced there, if you took that angle, you would have take it to this point, and it would have told you the next two bottoms, wherever it touched that line, where you need to buy. That's why I buy on the bottom of lines, or try to. Risk to reward ratio is much better there. You got a much higher chance of seeing the number go up and the number go down when you buy it on the bottoms, right? So buying Origin Trail, that was the name of it, right? Or Track at the bottoms like this, or buying Arkham at the bottoms. Whatever you got your convictions on, if you can catch them at the bottoms, which most of the altcoins are back at the bottoms, which is why I'm going to focus mostly on Bitcoin. Mostly next cycle, because the discount will come for these altcoins. It does every cycle. You always get that second chance at them, so if you're not taking your profits on the first chance, you might as well wait for the second chance to get in. Focus on Bitcoin for the first half of the cycle. This is my thoughts in retrospect. This song puts me in a mellow mood, man. $1.53 is what I see coming for Arkham Intelligence. That's she's got to do it. And then in between place in there, about 133, 132, right in this area, support resistance flip. Also the top of our possible double bottom pattern right there. That's where it will confirm. It's about 138-ish. We'll throw a line there. That makes a dandy little target, because she could come up and get rejected. Probably will. Kind of seeing that we got this trend line here. It would just like it would be perfect for her to come up and maybe break out. And, I mean, who knows? But that's pretty kosher too at 137. Now from 111, we're 108. We just dropped. We're at 108 now. What a steal! What a bargain! That'd be 23%. Coming up to 3 yellow lines. They gotta be. No, I did not. They're not. I don't know what. Oh, that's our 236 fib. Okay, that's 86% gain. So our 618 area, main target area, or one of the main target areas. She's getting ready on the 4-hour to claim that 200 moving average. When she does, she's officially bullish. And then 157% gains to get back up. 618, $2.77, where she was hanging out, topping out at back in June and back in May. She had reached $4, and she is at $1 now. And if she takes off, who knows how hard she can go in this bull market. I forgot what the tokenomics were on it, but this is one of my plays that I've got a hodl bag of it that I did not put on leverage, and I got a leverage play that I built up that I'm trying to work with here. Thank you for that. Hey, thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate that. That does help the channel. I appreciate that. I see that strike. Mr. Miles, I was thinking about getting their hotspot. Oh, speaking of hotspot, and this is probably what you guys are talking about, but H&T, that one's... See what's going on with this little guy. She met any more targets. Let's just take that little guy and adjust him for what we got. And we finally figured out what we got here. She's got 3 humps, which is usually followed by a dump. I'm just throwing that out there. We just gotta identify the trend line. She's got this weird little thing going on over here. I don't like cutting through. We could cut through, but I don't like doing that. If we go by this, she's flirting with breaking it, but there's a lot of wiggle room to that if we go by that idea. We're gonna have to do this. No, that doesn't work. It does work here though. So when you get something like this, you gotta remember that you can also take that angle, just drag it all the way down to the bottom of this wick, and that could be, you know, where she can still bounce off of that. And oh man, she broke. I'm shorting. She cleared this line. I'm shorting, and you come down here and bounce like, what the hell happened? I thought you were going to do something else. But usually where the most touches are, that's the best place to put your trend line. So that's what we got here. And hopefully she'll respect that. H&T, I'm still looking for 929 possibly being met. Talking about the helium hotspot, yeah. Need to be in with the hotspots in a high foot traffic area. Just like owning your own store or something like that. Yeah, that's true. Being away from every place is just, I couldn't get mine to work, so I can't really vouch for it, but it didn't sound like I was in an area to just benefit very much from a helium hotspot mine. I'm sure we could have got something, but all I got was a headache. But I think Mr. Miles is having good luck with his. Mobile, not HNT, please. Are you getting some of those rewards? Are they stacking up? I just guess everybody has to be dumping these things as soon as they get them, I guess. Well, that's not the smart thing to do as a miner, though. I mean, you want to hold them, especially if they're at the bottom. But man, I don't know the tokenomics on this, but let's see, July she peaked up there, May she peaked up there. It was higher early in April. I don't know if there was a big token unlock or I don't know what it would have had, but it looks like there's a... That's a nice round shape. EO scallop pattern, which usually comes back up about to where it started. Did just what it needed to do. Walk as a cup and handle to the upside. Nope. Nope. Nice rounded shape going here. Big accumulation going on is basically what all this is saying. So short-term targets, the one worth waiting for is 0.0025, which is going to have to do. You just have to stack them up until it gets there. But from where it is now to there, that's 118-120%. Hell yeah, that's worth waiting for. Places between there, we just fib it out because the fibs don't lie, baby. So 0.00189 is the sweet spot. 200 moving average is starting to move down toward that way as we speak. And from here to there, that would be, that's not bad, 70%. That's worth playing yourself a little bit. That's the support resistance flip area over here too. If you look to the left, well, kind of, sort of, it's a resistance area, will be. It didn't resist too much there, but it did here. And that's coming in at 0.00179. So 0.001819 in that area looks good. And if she comes back down, if you want it, roll it back over into that. Which it looks like she can hold these little 0.000. What was it? How many is 0.0011 to 0.0013 or 14 area? That'd be a great look. Oh, spell it out. This little zone right here is excellent for accumulating this. 0.00. Yeah, we can get all that technical just right over here. That looked like it was trying to make a nice little bottom. Looks more like a butt crack. It does have the blessed green dot here. It has been confirmed. It was confirmed yesterday. For more upside for Market Cipher, I mean for mobile, that would be cool. Now as we come down to the smaller time frame, see what she's doing. 4 hours here, got to go above the 200 moving average. That's just always a go-to. That's at 0.0012. That's not worth selling at. It's worth just hanging on to this for a little while, waiting, letting her come off this bottom and do what she needed to do. We didn't get the sweet spot. Why not get the sweet spot? The sweet spot is right here for the longer term play, 0.0045. Now imagine FOMOing in now, or just collecting them for free if you have a spot miner, and then hanging on to them and selling them for 300% gains from where they are now. That's not bad. Not bad at all. It's just that, well, okay. It looks like we might be about halfway through that, so looks perfect. There is some divergence playing here, which means that numbers should start possibly going up. Cool. It looks promising. Mr. Miles says, I've got no natural traffic. That's why I'm buying a helium phone plan. I'd like to know, yeah, let me know how that phone plan does. I had that option when I had one. I thought it might help things. Of course, it wouldn't have in my situation, but I wasn't for sure what it would do with my number and everything. And I just didn't want to screw up my phone or anything. So I just, I'll stay away from this one for a moment. But yeah, a lot of people, I think, they do that with their own hotspots, right? "62 acres, Derek Adams. That sounds awesome. Can do a lot with that." Nazarite says 9 a.m. Central or 10 a.m. allows TradFi to open and pick a direction. Easy to ride trend, yeah. Morales Money's Ivan on Tech. I watch him pretty regular. He's probably said it in the background. I've heard some other people mention Morales Money too, though. So he's behind that. Mr. Mouse says, I'm going to see if it'll essentially pay for its own phone plan. That's what I thought. I had reports of that. Yeah, they were getting enough in rewards to have a free phone plan. Because it was only $20 when I was hearing about it and everything. I haven't really kept up with it, but... Take a look at QNT, see how she's faring. We can go through these rather quickly. Double bottom situation here above this 236 Fibonacci, headed toward this little guy up here, $87. Still looking for that. 200 moving average is coming in there. Slow wick down here, little areas, blah blah blah. Had this little area over here in that same area. You know it's going to be an area of resistance. It's perfect. So right around $87 we can get up there. May not hit 87. I would have to front run it a little if you got it. You got a little wick down here. It says, hey, psst, do 84. Go for 84 if you want to make sure you can get it. However, the fibs usually do not lie on the site. They usually do very good. So QT is looking kind of cool. BeamX. Is this the right one? There are two. This is a BeamX. Yeah, there's two different ones. Yeah, let's listen to have two coins and name them exactly the same thing. Did you buy Ethereum? No, I bought Ethereum. So, did we just take that off? Okay, we're not quite cleared our area here on BeamX, so it's got to get above 0.015-ish. If it gets above that, then we can start heading to 0.018 in that area. That would be cool. Got to clear that area. She'll probably have a hard time right here, though. This is going to be the big one for her. 0.0166. Road dog getting sleepy. That is a support resistance flip area right there. Come down that support, and it was resistance here, and so it's likely to be resistance unless she breaks through it. If she does, she's got a hellacious measure move, take us back up here to 2.022. Not too shabby if she can do it. Go Max, it's your birthday. Do it, baby. Make daddy happy. Take us to 2.2 cents. Pump these bags, baby. That's 57% gains. So, me with my portfolio and everything that I've got active, I've just said my strategy is pretty simple. It's these Fibonacci's, baby. Swing high to swing low. Tell me where price is going to go in that. All these levels from are usually a high. It depends on the chart, but you see how I draw them on here too. But I took it from the one in May here, that last high. And on every rung of that ladder, I have got a sell thing, just waiting for them targets to hit as we start to recover in this market. We should be on our path of recovery here. I guess it would probably be a good idea to look at total 3 since everything's starting to turn bullish. We might as well look at total 3 and see how she's doing too. On the weekly, she seems to be recovering and bouncing off a 50 moving average, even though we are smacking up with a green cloud. I don't like that. We're below the 9. That's not good. But we are above the 200 moving average. Coming down to the 3-day, we are beneath the cloud. We are still bearish. No bueno to be beneath the cloud. No bueno, except for it's red cloud, so maybe we can get above it, or it can just keep getting skinnier and dump us. We don't want that either, so these are bigger time frames. However, we got the blessing of the green dot on total 3 right here on the 3-day chart, so that's good. We get at least get a little pump up. We're looking for this number, 585 billion. We're at 563 billion. No, we're at 580 billion right now. We're almost there. That suggests to me this weekend would probably be a good, if you're up, to take a little bit of profit. I'm just saying. And here we are. Okay, now we can see that we got a trend line that we can probably track. Probably just track it on a 4-hour, like we do. As long as we've got this trend line, we're good. And we can get away from it and do all kinds of things and bounce back to it. But as long as we are respecting it and that we can make a mental note, if we break this trend line, let's start making sure that we've taken enough profits out of our altcoin to withstand a bigger drop or another drop. We're good. And that's all we got to do with total 3 is just watch it. And here on the 4-hour, she's getting bullish. She's getting Nancy. She's going away on another one. Can't see it too good on the 4-hour, so come down to a smaller time frame. Let's say like the 1 hour. And now we can start seeing it. That may be 2. Let's go to the 2-hour. She's curving a little bit, so she's starting to lose that one, right? Trend line, she's basically losing that one. So we would expect her just to come back down, roll over probably, or maybe she'll continue up and then roll over. We don't know. She can. They can do all kinds of things. But usually we'll start working our way down here to touch this again and see then, do we bounce? Ichimoku cloud suggests we probably could. We're not near it with a big thick green cloud, so we probably could bounce again if we do that. Well, that's the kind of ideas that we just need to look at. We're getting ready on total 3. What is this, the 2-hour? 100 across the 200. And anytime that happens, I would keep an eye on that because you can get some curious results. Price might want to come down and touch that 100 moving average on that time frame. So far, so good. And see right here on the 15-minute, see how this cloud is getting thick and price is getting closer? We're getting into some dangerous territory here. We start coming into it, but she's also coming up here too. This could be a little. If we touch the cloud, if price touched the cloud, you're likely to suck you into it. Okay, if we can stay away from it, we can probably bounce. Sometimes we can bounce off of them, and it gets kind of tricky with the cloud. It's best just not to be close to them. Is what I'm trying to say. She looks like she's going to try to go for this. So it looks like maybe tonight and into tomorrow morning. Oh, I'm gonna want the 15-minute. Can't go by the 15. Yeah. We might be doing good up to noon or something. So tomorrow, I don't know, or maybe all day. Who knows? But that's just kind of. At some points, this will not be sustainable over this weekend, I believe. So we'll have to see what's going on. If you're in profit, it's just, and you're at a level of resistance. If you're at a fib level, especially of resistance, good time to pay yourself. Mr. Miles says, I've noticed a debate in the space about FOMC reducing rates. Half say it's going to result in bull runs. The other side says it will cause price to drop as people are afraid the Fed's lost control. Historically, there's a number of times when they pivot that about 6 months afterward in the legacy market, there's usually a bigger crash. Not every time, but enough to take notice. So that's where a lot of that's coming from. And their arguments are, it could be a signal that there's, to some investors and things like, that they have lost control and they have to take some desperate measures. And that could scare the market. Yeah, there may be. I don't know. It's you got to keep that in the back of the mind, and that'll affect the stock market, and it definitely will affect crypto, because anything affects the stock market seems to have an effect on us now that the big boys are in here. So honestly, I'm not really sure, because even though they say we're not in a recession, we can tell that we've been in one for a while, right? So would it get worse? I mean, I really can't make a call on that. I don't have enough experience with that to I mean, my opinion, I really don't know. Things should turn out good. You would hope they would turn out good, and we would hope if Trump gets in, the market should do good. If Kamala gets in, then I think it would. Her plans would spook a lot of things, and this unrealized capital gain thing, that kills the market. I mean, I don't think people are really listening to that, taking that one as serious. Because anything that you have that you store your value in, if it goes up in value, pay me now. Doesn't matter if it goes down next year. They're not going to pay you back for that. Hell no. And then you got to bring me into the subject of taxation anyway, and this whole thing, and we're taxed to death, and the Democrats love tax, and they love getting that money and spending it on stuff. They just do. Every time they get in office, they spend money like crazy. And then we got to spend years straightening ourselves out. It happens all the time. Not pointing fingers, but I mean, it's just a fact. It just is. I don't know. But we can hope that I'm just putting my faith in this 4-year cycle, and with the adoption of Bitcoin, and then how that rolls over into altcoins, and trusting that these next 12 months will be some of the best months that this next year will be awesome for our portfolios and for our net worth and everything, if we do the right things. And will it happen on a small degree or a bigger degree? And that depends on how they approach all this stuff, how they manage all this stuff. Sad to say. That's about as best as I can comment on that. We just got to watch it and look for the warning signs, but just know that we got, keep these things in the back of our mind and be diligent, and not to sweep them under the rug. We got to be cautious about these things. Would unrealized losses also count as tax deductions? Not the way that they got it, not the way that they do investing, from what I understand. You can only, if you like, I think the cap is it 3,000? Like if you lose your ass on the stock market, from what my understanding, you can deduct 3,000. But if I win big, you won't half of it or something. Trump says no tax on overtime. Now, I know that's cool. Listen, the income tax thing was not supposed to stick around. That was because we were in trouble with war and all this other stuff. It was an emergency go-to thing. But so was the 9/11 Patriot Act. It was an emergency go-to thing, which is still there, letting deep state surveil us quasi-legally, and most of the time illegal. It's illegal. They find ways to bypass the Constitution and stuff, and it pisses me off. It gets more control and more control, and I think we can see the effects of how much control that they have and what they've been doing and all of that. And I start getting on the tangent. This is why we got into crypto in the first place for a lot of the people in the cyberpunk people, was to get away from all this bullshit. But the income taxes, I mean, it was supposed to be a temporary thing, and it wasn't. And so, yeah, good. People work overtime because they need it. Don't need the government taking up. They take too much. And then on top of it, they go and print money on top of that. So why are you even paying in the first place? If they're just going to print it, oh, we need to send billions over here to Ukraine. Well, let's turn up that money printer, write a bond, go get it, send it over, or however, you know, weapons or whatever the transaction is. But it's printing money. Oh, you don't need my taxes. You just need to print money. Screw that. I would like that approach. I mean, if you're going to print money, don't tax. And then we got extra money to help build our economy and our growth, you know. But in this case, it becomes just almost like tax is a way to weaponize money, right? They're pretty good at weaponizing money, so it seems. I mean, the dominant currency, but and then you got inflation on top of that. They can just, it's the best Ponzi casino scheme going on, man. They can just suck you dry. And that's why Bitcoin is so freaking important, because they don't have their tentacles in that to where they can pull those same tricks with crypto. Yeah, they're working on it. They're definitely working on it, and they will come up with their own products and own derivatives and everything and suck us right into it, because the big name, it's Goldman Sachs and it's their DeFi. Well, look at their tokens over here. They're not the what we're used to, but they're doing just fine and making gains. Let's go play over here on this market. I mean, so it's so important to keep the decentralization mindset. That's what's saving our asses from being taken over by these globalists. And if you think about it, the WEF, their thing was Build Back Better. I don't know if you remember this. Getting off on a little bit of a tangent. But that was their comeback. It was probably the response to MAGA, the effects from that, but their thing was Build Back Better. And every company in Europe, they were all saying Build Back Better. France, England, Build Back Better. Joe Biden, Build Back Better. And you asking the question, who's running our country, is these little clues that are telling you who is running our country. They've been taking orders from the globalist. And all their agendas and all the things they're trying to do and the things that they're pushing is the same things that the WEF is pushing. And they're being, it's all the corporate, it's all the personhoods who are not supposed to be persons, the corporations, are in control. And the banks fall into that and all those big things. So it's just crazy. Would a trust curb taxes? They are supposed to help you very much in the tax idea, and that's one thing that you need to consider, especially, you know, if you do well for this bull market, this crypto market, you're going to have more money than you're used to having, and you need to start thinking now about planning these things out. So a tax attorney at some point, and I'm going to have to sit down too to structure things, because you're going to have to take on this thing, and if you build up some wealth, you're going to have to structure yourself well, and a tax attorney would be the person to get with that. And they would probably, and there's a good one on YouTube that talks about this stuff, and I'll try to get his name over and mention it on the stream, put in the Telegram group, or put some of his videos up over there too. And it kind of helps you grasp some of these concepts and stuff, but setting up corporations and trust that you can operate under so that you can reduce your tax, what you need to legally pay in taxes. And that's what everybody else does. Nancy Pelosi does all this shit. How do you think she gets to be so rich? Other than her insider trading and all of that. But I mean, she's structured well to take advantage of all that. I would not want that job, but God bless Donald Trump for putting up with it. And I it's a mixed bag for this election. A lot of people are really torn, don't like either candidate or anything. A lot of people have Trump derangements in them. You either love him or hate him. And he got off talking about cats, people eating cats. I mean, what I like about Trump, I've got to say, is that you know what you're getting with him. You know what you're getting with him. You don't know what the hell you're getting with Joe Biden. You don't know what you're getting with Kamala Harris. You don't know what you get with Obama, because they just go behind there and you never hear anything and just hear about all this shit going on in the news. Oh, there's a new war and all this and whatever. But with Trump, I mean, he likes to talk to Americans. His rallies go on for hours. His conferences when he was president would just linger and linger, but that's kind of endearing, I think. And I know he can get triggered, but he's wisened up. I can tell that he's seasoned up, and I think he's learned a lot from that first term. And if he had a second term, I think he knows what some of the things he needs to do to change. And I've been hearing him talk bad about this Agenda 2025 thing, and so I looked it up today, and I'm looking over about what is going over, and I don't think it's horrible at all. I mean, I don't see what they're bitching about. It explicitly talks about getting the bureaucrats out of office. That is cleaning up government. And I'm like, you're fighting against this? Why would you fight against that unless, are you a bureaucrat? I mean, today's the first time I've ever really dug in or looked at and everything, but the points that I've seen on it were not horrible. And maybe they're saying that it doesn't have to be that way. It would have to go through an approval process and everything. But, it's just common sense management of our country is all we need. And it definitely doesn't have it now. Probably tripped that algorithm really good with all my talks lately. Trump and Biden actually hate Kamala and feel betrayed. Trump said Biden actually hates Kamala and feels betrayed. 24 hours later, Biden put on a Trump. Did he really? Did that happen? That would be funny. I mean, there's some, I mean, I can see it. I think most people can see it. It surprises me that there's a lot of people that can't see how things are being manipulated in front of our eyes. And, now we got a candidate that nobody voted in. It's weird, the things that are going on. I mean, Biden is not competent to stand trial over documents cases for when he was a senator and would be found guilty. But he's competent enough to run the country right now instead of Kamala Harris taking over for an incompetent president. And she would already be president, and then she could run as president. But no, we're going to let him leave in January, and then we're going to put her in, who has no experience. All I've seen her do is cackle, and it's just. I agree with the sentiment, man. They've had the past 4 years to do it, 3.5 years, whatever. They've had their opportunity to do things. This was their time to shine, and the world is not, our country is not shining. I'm seeing the major cities in California and New York and all that. Just, I mean, the places that you wanted to go visit, you don't want to go there anymore. And it's sad where our country are. And it's like, but it feels good. It's joy. And, they're going to help the middle class out now. Well, hell, I've been hearing that all my life from every politician. And the only one I've seen lately that had a real effect was Trump. That had a good effect. I was doing well then when I was working a job. I mean, it did start turning around then. His idea is right. You need people, the people in government need to be leaders and not these freaking bureaucrats. They need to go out there like Trump, going out there and making the phone calls and we're not going to do this anymore for you. Negotiate. Let's do this. Let's set this country right instead of making all these policy regulations and this and that. And we'll see if we can. My people will talk to your people, and your people will do this. And things take forever in government. It is so inefficient. And if we could have one that was really efficient, I mean, come on, America. That's what we're known to do, is to do things right. How did our government get so screwed up? It shouldn't be. So I like the idea of a corporate person coming in and putting a fresh shine on this and respecting the founding fathers and what they stood for and trying to get this country back on track. I admire that. And if his name's Donald Trump, I guess his name's Donald Trump. It could be JFK. I think Trump would be more the man to get it started, and I think somebody like JFK could probably finish it up. Let Trump do his last 4 years and get us straightened out, and he's not going to be they got the rumor he's going to be a dictator. I think we can see who's really trying to stay in there as best as they can, and why. Well, they got the whole military-industrial complex, man. The Democrats has got it. I don't know how they finagled all that. If you look at the history of the Democrat Party, man, it's very interesting. I didn't know that they were behind the KKK. That was a new one for me. I was like, really? And then they started doing civil rights in the 60s to kind of like, oh, no, that wasn't us. Well, I mean, it's a wild party, and I'm not trying to talk bad about Democrats. I thought I was one for a while, for the longest time. My wife is one. So it's wild. But this country is it's not the America I knew growing up. It's someplace totally different. Biden literally did it within 24 hours of the debate. Oh, I seen some little snippet about it, but I thought, I don't know if it was real or not. You mean RFK, not Jeff? Yeah. I do screw up my words quite a bit. Zombie JFK, if we're POTUS, though, I'd vote for it. JFK was too powerful. It's interesting looking into that too, and it tied with our currency. And from what I understand, he was going to the silver certificates, trying to establish, putting more power back to our dollar instead of letting the bankers and Federal Reserve do what they've been doing over these past few years. These past 50 years, he's trying to keep us from going down this road that we went down either. Anyway. I think so did Eisenhower too, after he warned about the military-industrial complex. These are the presidents saying this, warning about this stuff. And so as the silver certificates came in, was going to threaten how that they do whatever they do with the dollar, and I think that led to certain events that changed his life. I don't know, I'm not an expert on that. Well, guys, it is 12:10. It is time for me to get off of here. I've been going to ramble on for hours and hours. I appreciate you for hanging out, and we'll begin tomorrow night. But the market looks interesting. I'm just curious to see if we'll keep up this sell pressure over the weekend. It's hard for me to imagine how you would expect this during the week and not during the weekend, so I don't know that I fully trust this. And we are some areas, so it's good to take profits if you can. I'm sure there'll be a pullback and then maybe go up. We're pumping on the weekend. It's not normal. I'm just saying. Be cautious. See you guys tomorrow. Trade carefully.
Come on, come here, boy. Come on. You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice. You won't make it to the finish line. If you gotta know the truth was
Good night, John boy.